under oath dito sa application na ito.
Kitang-kita na ito ay political persecution.
So we need to fight this warrantless arrest na ito.
The ball is now in the hands of the Supreme Court whether it will stop or favor the proclamation voiding the amnesty issued to Senator Antonio Trillanes IV by the previous administration. We talk about the possible scenarios in the senator's case. I'm Pia Ontiveros, and this is On the Record. Our guests tonight, Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. He's joining us live from the Senate, and National Union of People's Lawyers spokesperson, Attorney Chris Yambot. The Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, Attorney Sal Panelo, confirmed his participation in tonight's program. He's supposed to be joining us from Jordan, but we are unable to reach him right now by telephone. In the meantime, we're going to start first with Senator Sonny Trillanes, who is, like we said, joining us live from the Senate. Senator Trillanes, maraming salamat. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Ms. Pia.
Senator Trillanes, let's begin with this. The Makati judge did not outrightly issue an arrest warrant and instead directed you to respond to the very urgent ex parte motion. And then he scheduled a hearing on September 13. Will you appear at that hearing?
Well, obviously, I cannot appear in that hearing, but I will be represented by my lawyers. So that's I think on Wednesday.
September 13. Thursday. So, Senator, you are not going to be
yes,
there.
Yes.
Your lawyers will be representing you. Wala ka talagang plano na pumunta. Because are you afraid that you will be arrested when you go there, and that's why you'd rather not?
No, I was advised by my lawyers that until this particular issue is resolved, I should stay here, and that's also the agreement with the Senate leadership.
All right. Kaninang hapon, pumunta sa Korte Suprema ang inyong mga abogado, Senator Trillanes. Is it too early to go to the Supreme Court at this point?
Well, there are some legal advice that's suggesting that we go through the RTC first, but I believe the importance and significance of the nullification of the proclamation of Mr. Duterte would merit the attention of the Supreme Court.
And you are hopeful that the Supreme Court will stop this in its tracks. You have no trust issues with the Supreme Court.
Well, we're still in a democracy, supposedly, and this is a chance for the Supreme Court to prove that it is independent and it is objective in its decisions. And besides, I believe we have prepared a very strong case for the nullification of the presidential proclamation.
Senator Trillanes, Harry Roque, the president's spokesperson, had said, and we quote, "Malapit-lapit na makukulong si Trillanes," unquote. He says you are violating the terms of your amnesty by calling on soldiers na tumiwalag. What exactly have you said? In the last 2 days or 3 days since this started, did you at any time call for any kind of military action by soldiers or by the PNP?
No, I never said that. And this is one of the trademarks of this administration. They just lie and try to convince everyone that this is the truth. And just to cite one of those lies, dito sa proclamation na ito, ang isang basis nila ay sinasabi na hindi daw ako nag-file personally ng aking application for amnesty. Then, suddenly, here comes this video showing na talagang nag-file ako, no? And it had to be a video, no? Especially in this social media age. So nakita rito, talagang inabot ko yung aking application form dun sa Department of National Defense ad hoc committee on the amnesty. Then we had documents, we presented documents that proved na nag-file nga na application and that it was approved by the ad hoc committee and eventually by then Secretary of National Defense Walter Gasmin. So dito natin kasi makikita na they just grab things out of from thin air and present it as the truth. But I believe that game is up at alam na ng mga taong bayan yung kanilang mga estilo.
Senator, let's get back to that in a while, no? Yung pag-apply nyo for amnesty and yung mga dokumento na pinakita nyo since yesterday, no? But I wanted to ask you first, did you at any time call on soldiers not to follow President Duterte's orders to arrest you? Or did you say, do not follow illegal orders? May ganon? May ganon kayong sinabi?
Ang sinabi ko po ay ang Armed Forces of the Philippines ay dapat hindi susunod ng illegal orders dahil alam nila kung ano yung tama at mali, ano yung constitutional at hindi. So sila po ang kailangan mag-desisyon.
Illegal orders because you're saying that hindi kayo pwedeng arestuhin. Right? But anyway, Senator Trillanes, I wanted to ask you...
Yun ang sinasabi ko.
Oo. Si Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo...
Ang sinasabi ko po ay huwag sumunod ng illegal orders.
Yes. Si Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo is saying na, and we quote, you have done, quote, subsequent acts inimical to the interest of the state even after your amnesty. No? So, to your mind, as far as you're concerned, have you done acts inimical to the state?
Wala po. At ito nga ho nagbulungan lang kay Mr. Jing Paras, kinasuhan na kagad ako ng grave threats. Kung ano-anong kinaso sa akin. Itong si Mr. Duterte, if you would recall, Ms. Pia, gumawa nga siya, nag-imbento siya ng offshore bank accounts ko daw. This, grabe yun, in a normal democracy, that's an impeachable offense, Kumaga, walang gagawang isang presidente noon,
Yeah.
But ganyan sila. They keep on lying and they resort to all of these things to harass those who are opposing them.
Senator Trillanes, I just wanted to clarify certain things. Yung Amnesty Proclamation 75 was signed by former President Aquino in November 2011. But you submitted requirements November 2010, but you submitted requirements January 6, 2011. January 31 was when yung ad hoc committee ng DND ang nag-issue na nga ng amnesty. So you submitted requirements only in January. At do you think, baka naman ito yung nagiging issue ng technicality? Hindi?
No, hindi po. Kasi the proclamation should be made first. Tapos naggawa sila ng ad hoc committee, tapos nag-schedule sila sa amin kung kailan kami pwedeng mag-apply ng amnesty. And I believe the processing started parang mga January 3 or 4. So I filed a few days after.
All right. Senator Trillanes, you showed documents, like you said, yesterday and today. Today you showed documents about that relate to your separation from the service. Do you have a copy of the certification from the armed forces that is being used now against you that says na your amnesty papers are missing?
Sorry? That my amnesty papers are?
Yes, may certification daw kasi, galing sa AFP na nawawala nga, nothing on record about your amnesty. Do you have that?
Yun po ang pinakita ko. Ganito po yan, tayo, pag nag-a-apply po tayo ng kahit na anong public document, whether it's passport or license, nag-fill up ka ng application form. Then you submit the application form dun sa agency at pinaprocess nila yon. Nasa kanila po yan. And meron pong documents na sinasabing nag-apply ako at yung application ko ay pre-process nila, review at nag-comply kami sa mga requirements ng amnesty and kaya in-approve yung amnesty. Alam nyo, ganito ho yan, dinadala nila doon sa application form.
Oh,
Yes,
Senator,
but,
I'm so sorry. No,
the issue here is...
Oh, sandali lang po, Senator, kasi we're running out of time. And I need to ask you this, no? Since
Okay.
yesterday, meron kayong sinasabi, malapit na mapuno ang salop, stand down, the gloves are off, and then you said, sandali na lang siya, referring to President Duterte. You seem to be dropping hints, no? What is going on behind the scenes?
Sa akin naman, sinasabi ko yun as a statement of fact. Inevitable ito because he won't be sitting there as president forever, and every day that passes is a day less dun sa term niya. So talagang it's a short time.
Yeah, okay, but is someone
So ganun
plotting
lang ho yan,
something?
ano? They can read
Yeah.
between the lines all they want, but
Oo.
they,
No, but
they
is
can read
someone-
all the between the lines all they want, but at the end of the day, it's ganun lang yan.
Oh, but is someone
inevitable.
plotting something? Because you said malapit nang mapuno ang salop, the government should stand down. It sounds like something's going on. Meron bang pinaplano?
Well, sila po ang nagpa-plot. Sila po ang
Okay.
nagpa-plot. Actually, yung ginawa nilang proclamation na to, this is a step closer to martial law or one step short of martial law. Yung ginawa nila.
Okay. And my last question, is your life in danger, and what happens after you step down in 2019? You're not eligible for re-election.
My life was in danger since the day one of this Duterte administration, but I'm not afraid of Mr. Duterte. And in fact, I'm not running for any public office after 2019, well, precisely because I'm not afraid of him.
All right. Senator Sonny Trillanes, thank you, sir, very much for joining us this evening. Salamat po, sir. We're taking a quick break. Stay tuned to On the Record. Welcome back. We're still talking about Senator Trillanes' amnesty case. Still with us here in the studio, Attorney Chris Yambot of the NUPL. Attorney Chris, thank you very much for joining us. Itong strategy ng void ab initio, is this going to work? Who's going to decide the matter? Is it going to be Judge Soriano of Makati RTC, or is it going to be the Supreme Court now?
Itong strategy ng pag-deal sa mga effects ng mga pronouncements or actions ng government, void ab initio, it's a shortcut. Iniiwasan na i-discuss yung mga actual legal issues on hand. So ginawa ito doon kay CJ Sereno, void ab initio daw yung kanyang appointment as CJ dahil sa kanyang kakulangan ng mga papers. And then ngayon makikita naman natin void ab initio yung ICC naman na pagsali ng Pilipinas. So it's skirting the real legal issues on hand.
Okay, so who's going to decide that? Is it going to be Judge Soriano? September 13 kasi may hearing, ano? At the same time, he directed Senator Trillanes to reply to yung very urgent ex parte motion. Or is it going to be the Supreme Court?
I think since the good senator already filed a petition with the Supreme Court, it's very likely that the Supreme Court will be the one deciding on the issue on whether or not first if an amnesty can be revoked
Okay.
by unilaterally by a president.
Yeah, September 13, next Thursday, is the hearing set sa Makati RTC. What are the chances that the judge will issue an arrest warrant? Will he or won't he?
I'm sure that the court will not issue the warrant because from the facts of the case, it appears that the case has already been dismissed a long time
Right.
ago.
Yeah.
So it was not archived but dismissed. So the appeals from the losing side has already lapsed. So wala nang
Yeah.
case to speak of.
Okay. Sige, Attorney Yambot, I hope you don't mind. We're going to go first to Sal Panelo, who's joining us right now on the line from Jordan. Sir, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, yes. Sir, can we begin with this? If you can get the judge, the Makati court judge, to issue an arrest warrant, then naturally you can have Senator Trillanes arrested right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
what are the
Said you
chances?
would go.
But what are the chances that the judge will issue an arrest warrant?
Well, that depends on the judge. I would not want to speculate on that.
But if you don't get an arrest warrant from that Makati judge, si Judge Andres Soriano, paano na? Anong next step ng Duterte administration?
Well, if that's denied, then you can always go to the Supreme Court
You go to the Supreme Court and what?
and ask for the reversal of the decision of the RTC denying the motion.
Ah, okay. You're not going to have another case filed against him in another court so that you can get an arrest warrant?
No, we
No?
don't have to.
Okay. Or can
That
Senator...
would be forum shopping.
Okay. Can Senator Trillanes be arrested on the strength of Proclamation 572 only? Yun ang gagamitin ng sundalo o ng pulis para maaresto siya?
That's precisely why we filed a motion in court for the issuance of an alias warrant of arrest.
Okay, so in other words, the Duterte administration, President Duterte himself, is not expecting that gagamitin ng PNP yung proclamation para arrestuhin si Senator Trillanes.
No, the fact alone that we filed a case in court for the issuance of a warrant of arrest shows.
Okay. What, sir, by the way, has the President said, if any? Has he commented about what has been going on? Does he know, for example, that the judge did not outrightly issue an arrest warrant based on this very urgent ex parte motion that was filed by government prosecutors?
The President is busy with more pressing concerns in the state visit to Jordan and Israel.
Okay, but would you know if he does want the warrant issued?
No, we haven't talked about it. In fact, we just came out from a bilateral meeting with the King of Jordan.
Okay, but Attorney Panelo, Secretary Panelo, it's clear that a warrantless arrest cannot happen here, right, sir?
That's for the court to decide. That's precisely, it will conduct a hearing for the issuance, either for the issuance or for the denial of the motion.
Well, right now, there's quite a bit of speculation about what's going to happen next because the conditions for warrantless arrest obviously not present here.
As far as we're concerned, we have a very strong case. As far as we know, the proclamation granting amnesty to Mr. Trillanes is null and void. And if the argument is that the case has been dismissed, the dismissal was anchored on a void proclamation. Hence, I do not think the dismissal would be valid.
But you're saying, Malacanang is saying that it is null and void because he did not apply for amnesty and he did not admit guilt. But there are those documents that show that he applied for amnesty there, and nandoon din yung admission of guilt. So paano po yun?
But you must remember that there was subsequent to the grant, assuming it is valid, Mr. Trillanes publicly said that he was not admitting guilt to the crimes charged of him because, according to him, it should be a different crime charge. In other words, there was no bona fide intention on the part of Mr. Trillanes to apply for an amnesty.
Okay.
That would
Secretary,
be a ground.
Secretary Panelo, one of the things Sonny Trillanes was saying the other day was that this is de facto martial law. When we talk about martial law, of course, there is that possibility of warrantless arrests. Is that something that the administration is actually considering?
As I said, the fact alone that we filed a motion in court for the issuance of an alias warrant of arrest demonstrates the falsity of the claim of Mr. Trillanes.
Okay.
The fact alone that Congress is functioning and all the courts are functioning, again, demonstrates the falsity, if not the monstrosity of his claim, that there is a de facto martial law.
Secretary Panelo, in your statement the other day, the last paragraph says, and we quote, "The state cannot be shackled by an act of clemency that is given to a political offender when the latter pursues subsequent acts inimical to its interest and violative of its fundamental charter. The state acting through the president has the inherent right to protect itself from assault coming from whatever sources." When you say subsequent acts, sir, are you saying that you are voiding his amnesty because of acts done after Oakwood and after the Manila Pen? What acts are you referring to? Yung attacks niya ngayon kay President Duterte?
Yeah, he has been doing that. He's been agitating the people to go against the government, planting seeds of hate against this president. He has been falsely accusing the president as well as the government of outrageous crimes. He claims to have been initiated by the government or by the president.
So
these are acts inimical to the interests of the state.
And these violate...
To my mind, as a lawyer, the state, through the president, has the inherent power to protect itself from any attack coming from any source.
And these are violative of his amnesty, of the grant of amnesty?
Yes, assuming that it is valid. Assuming that it is valid. But right now, the stand of the government is he has not complied with the mandatory requirements of an applicant for an amnesty.
Okay. So they went to the Supreme Court today. What do you think of that? What's going to happen next? How is the government going to respond to this latest move by the Trillanes camp?
We haven't seen the petition yet, what it is asking from the Supreme Court.
All right.
Also, we have, I'm in contact with the Defense Secretary. I want to see exactly the documents, who really signed for the amnesty. Because if it's only Secretary Guzmin signing for the amnesty, then I think we have another ground coming.
Another ground coming?
Or its nullity.
What do you mean,
I
sir?
mean, the president has the power to grant amnesty.
Okay. Well, there was
I do not know who really signed for the amnesty. Was it President Benigno Aquino, or was he just authorized the former Secretary of National Defense to sign?
Okay. Well, there was that proclamation in November 2010 signed by President Aquino, and it was Defense Secretary Volz Guzmin who signed that letter, and we're showing that letter right now, where he's reporting to President Aquino.
I'm here, so I
okay.
cannot see what.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm asking the Secretary of National Defense to provide me with certain documents relative to them.
All right. Well, anyway, Attorney Sal Panelo, Chief Presidential Legal Counsel. Sir, thank you very much for taking the time to be with us tonight. Salamat po, sir.
Thank you, Pia.
We're taking a quick break. Stay tuned to On the Record. For the last stretch of the program, the last 3 minutes, actually, our topic, Senator Antonio Trillanes' amnesty case. Still with us, Attorney Chris Yambot of the NUPL. Attorney Chris, can you tell us, kanina sabi nga ni Sal Panelo na kaya nga pumunta sila sa korte, kaya nga humingi sila, nag-file ng very urgent ex parte motion, humingi ng alias warrant doon sa korte, which means na hindi naman warrantless arrest ang gagawin nila.
Well, definitely, hindi naman sila makakapag-execute ng warrantless arrest dahil yung mga exceptional cases ay hindi naman nag-exist sa case ni Senator Trillanes.
Which is like one among them, the very popular one, if you catch someone in the act of committing the crime. So kumbaga, if they wanted to do that, dapat noong ginagawa niya yung Oakwood at yung Manila Pen.
At the same time, yung motion nila is very telling. It's for the issuance of a warrant of arrest and the arrest and the whole departure order. So mukhang ang intention lang talaga nila is to arrest him and detain him. Pero wala naman dun sa prayer na reopen yung case and proceed with the trial.
Parang ang gusto nilang mangyari, parang back to the future or back to the past. Yung, you'll rewind and then go back to the point na magpo-promulgation ng decision nung late 2010, October, November, December 2010.
But unfortunately, time has lapsed. The court has already dismissed the case, and the period for any reconsideration or appeal to that dismissal has already lapsed. So that's favorable to Senator Trillanes already.
Okay. Itong issue of did he file the application, did he admit his guilt in those coups d'etat that he participated in, or the mutinies that he participated in, is that ground enough? Is that reason enough to void his amnesty?
I don't think so, because he has already been granted. The custodian of the documents, of the applications, are with the government. So sila yung merong duty to keep it. Now, kung nawala nila or na-destroy nila, it's their fault. Walang kasalanan doon si Senator Trillanes. And kung ganoon ang requirement ng government para sa ating lahat ng Pilipino, na lahat ba tayo kailangan mag-keep ng mga documents ng application ng ating pagpasa sa bar, ang ating pag-aaral sa law school, ang ating mga lisensya, nang wala tayong application form dito? Napakalaking burden naman ito para sa mamamayan.
Okay. Sal Panelo also brought up something new. He said there might be a problem if kung malaman niya na si Volz Gasmin, who is former Defense Secretary, ang pumirma ng amnesty. Because proclamation yung pinirmahan ni former President Aquino noong November 2010. Pero si Volz Gasmin ang pumirma dun sa January 25, 2011 letter where he informs President Aquino na mabibigyan na nga ng amnesty or granted amnesty ito nga sina Trillanes and company. Is that an issue? Can that be used against Trillanes?
I don't think so. Kasi ang mga authorized naman na signatory would appear on the certificate issued to Senator Trillanes. And ayan, it's a mere report to the President of what transpired during the application and the processing of the applications.
Okay. So we're looking at, and my last question to you, we're looking at Supreme Court action. We don't know. Magpapataw sila ng oral arguments. We have that Thursday hearing at the Makati Regional Trial Court. What do you see that could happen?
Well, I think kung nasa tamang proseso tayo, no, mukhang dapat ma-dismiss na agad yung motion, ma-deny agad yung motion kasi to begin with...
Ma-dismiss ng
RTC.
RTC, okay.
Ma-deny yung motion na i-final dahil patay na yung kaso matagal na siyang na-dismiss. So kung magpa-file ka ng motion sa isang inexistent na case, wala na siya actually sa docket ng court So the very fair answer to that is dapat ma-dismiss na agad yung motion na ito.
All right. Attorney Chris Yambot of the NUPL. Sir, ma'am, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you also earlier to Senator Sonny Trillanes, who joined us live from the Senate, and Sal Panelo, Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, who joined us from Jordan. That is On the Record this week. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Thanks for watching.
Under oath dito sa application na ito.
kitang-kita na ito ay political persecution.
So we need to fight this warranted arrest na ito.